10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. TNC's turn to ban. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Dire team pick. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. TNC's turn to TNC's turn to the pack.
Earth Spirit.
Good morning, dude. How you doing?
Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. TNC's turn to bat.
Night Stalker.
Ten seconds remaining.
Yeah, I haven't seen too many
5
games from
seconds
Clutch
remaining.
recently, but I remember them being a very solid team a few months before TI. And so far, everything looks pretty standard, you know, typical 7.6 draft.
TNC's turn to ban. Ten seconds remaining.
I think that's why you're able to pick it up early. Because if you run it in one roll, you can counterpick it pretty easily, but you open it up to all 3 lanes, and suddenly you've always got the flex. Which is why, like, I think EG picked this hero a lot early.
Team ban.
Teams like that like the ability to mess with their opponents and mind game them. Haven't seen 1437 draft since TI though, so see if he's changed anything up or if he still goes with the same stuff.
Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. TNC's turn to
Well, from what I heard, she was less of a coach and more of an analyst. Someone who just provides information on the team you're going to play. And, you know, if the players do that information themselves and do that work, then it's not that big of a deal. But if they don't do that and then someone does it for them, and they have this like handbook of information that they can use, it makes them a much stronger team. If you remember, I can't remember which TI it was, It was when complexity went really deep. Maybe it was like TI5 or something. They did that mostly because they researched everyone they're playing against, and everyone thought, oh, okay, complexity, we'll just beat them, right? No one gave them any respect, but they did all their research, and it showed in how they played. Like, the mechanics weren't as good, but their strategy and their theory crafting was what won them games. So yeah, it makes a huge difference. Like, having a coach on a team, I think, is something that will win you tournaments if it's a good coach.
TNC's turn to
Bloodseeker.
Depends what you want from a coach. Because, for example, right, like, I've done some coaching. I don't play solo queue, so my MMR is, nothing to brag about. But it's how the team you're coaching wants you to do. If they want you to coach them individually, which I'm sorry, but if any tier 1 or tier 2 team needs individual coaching, then I don't think they're doing their job right, because that's their job to get better individually. As a coach, you want to work on a team. You see these 5 players, you see how they play, you see their flaws, you see where they make game losing micro and macro decisions, and then you help them. And you build on that. At least in my experience, that's mostly what teams have asked for. But if you don't need to have high MMR to see that, you just need to have some competitive experience and a good brain for Dota.
5 seconds remaining.
Man of many trades.
TNC's turn to bet.
Imber spirit.
In the late game, it's easier, but yeah, early game, if you're micromanaging your team and you're trying to check where they are, win your lane and CS, yeah, it's hard. No question on that.
10 seconds.
I'm kind of surprised that they picked Monkey into Bloodseeker though. I feel like Bloodseeker's a pretty good hero. The only time you can ever really fight him if he's running at you is if you're in your ult, and they have pretty good heroes, I think. The Frost Armor from Lurch, very good against any melee damage, physical damage even. And, Bloodseeker's just also very good at putting you in awkward spots. So I'm interested to see that matchup. It's not something you see too often. Maybe I haven't been watching enough 6K pubs recently. I never get to see those games, man. I only get to watch the FPL games from NA and EU. And
10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
Everything, man. He's just a bad 4. You have to. Yeah, you literally
10 seconds
got stacks, queued someone, killed them, TP'd to another lane, waited for your Q to cool down, hit them once, and queued them again, and they're dead. I miss that. But I'm very glad it's not in the game for a competitive standpoint. But yeah, I just don't think the hero works without farm anymore. So you have to run it as a core. It could be mid because it's really good against Ember.
10 seconds remaining.
You just hit him.
5 seconds.
And you make him your
remaining.
bitch. Lich might go mid to counteract that though, so we'll see how. Well, nice thing with Lich, right, is you can move to whichever lane you're needed. They don't want to scale. I don't. I think TNC has like more ways to take objectives. Clutch just want to fight. Like Ember and Bloodseeker are very bad at taking Roshan. They're very bad at pushing towers. The heroes need to be dead for them to be able to do that, right? So they just want to win their lanes and brawl a lot.
You may now select
And
your heroes.
yeah, I can like this a lot because sure, there's a few annoying silences and he might have a bit of a rough early game, but once it gets past 25, 30 minutes or so, if it gets that late, like he is king of this game. Pretty much. And he yeah, you can bully him early and maybe shut him down, but that's why he's got these 4 really strong teammates, you know. Puck, once he gets 6, can move around, make a lot of plays. Monkey is also a pretty active carry if he wants to be. If he doesn't feel the weight of his team and needs to like farm to get items, then he can move around a lot and make a lot of plays. So I would favor TNC's draft just because I think they have the fallback plan of the late game and they have the objectives through like Rast awards, which CG don't. You know, they rely on winning fights and having good lanes, which is always somewhat risky. It's a 350 move speed, man. That's why you always want to be a courier with no boots. Easy move speed. Yeah, I like how the first minute of the game is evolving every month or two. Because as you said, for a while you just smoked, TP'd, but you just TP'd to a lane, and then people realized, okay, you want to smoke, and then people started reading that, and you know you can kind of get these blind D wards off, and
The battle begins.
you just see so many levels of mind games. It's interesting. It's also interesting how they're laning, because they're starting with this aggro dual lane, and then the Earth Spirit can move between the 2 lanes, which I kind of like. Because what this naturally does is it alleviates any pressure from the Storm getting roamed on, if they want to protect their safe lane. But the clock's already up here, so Bloodseeker's going to get his one-on-one matchup. Puck is going to have a very, very bad time with this. How? He doesn't get CS once Quelling Blade comes out, and like the only way he wins is if the Bloodseeker gets bad trades and uses his Q badly, and then takes like a crap ton of damage. You can outplay, but if you look across the map as well, look at how low people are already. The second that Bloodseeker gets a point in his E, and he just runs, maybe with PMS or Venom, this Puck can't lane. It's one of the worst lanes in Dota 2 for a Puck. Just like look at how low people are already, you know? He gets an extra 8, 9 damage or something, bit of move speed. When they drop to half, it's going to get even worse. Yeah, 1 key from the monkey, he's dead. Yeah, I think that's good, I think that's good. Like, this hero really wants arcane boots ASAP. Or you go Soul Ring and Tranquils, which personally I prefer from a solo play standpoint, but you know, Monkey likes the extra bit of mana, Earth Spirit's not going to complain, you know. You give Storm a bit of mana in the lanes, same thing. So, and the max health mana pool just makes your game a bit easier. It comes down to preference. Regardless, the hero wants items. Like a Lich doesn't need items. A Clock as a support doesn't need that many items, but... He didn't even buy Qualo, and he look at his denies, you know? It's... Yep. You don't need to worry about contesting last hits when he's scared of going to the creeps. Which he does have to be. Like, he doesn't have boots yet, and his right-click damage is pretty low compared to the Bloodseeker once he gets a bit of first.
We were different as day and night. Haste.
Yeah, this is really scary for TNC. Like, the way they're using their supports right now isn't helping shut down any of the cores from CG. This is their first go. Yeah, I think he's fine.
Let's out. Feel my cold embrace.
This is why Bloodseeker's a good hero, man. And I like his skill build a lot. You know, a lot of people don't take the W. Yeah, most people just go like 2-0-3, and if you move around early, having the 1 point in the W just makes so much difference. It's a really good 1 point. Yeah, that's what they have to do. Yeah, but the levels in the W are very important to actually being able to use your other 2 spells.
Regeneration.
And Treads is better for fighting and farming. Phase is better for beating people who are worse than you.
Stupendous.
Yeah, the early game's going about as you'd expect. You know, they're the ones setting the movement with their supports, which is, well, not so much their supports actually, but more their cores. You know, JO, TP mid to turn around the kills, and then, you know, they've got 1 or 2 kills top. The Clock's about to get his 6, so he can start moving around and maybe give Night Stalker a lane once nighttime fades, so he can farm up a bit. They've got a lot of like these small little nuances and a lot of different timings they can use. but they need to have like a good game for their lineup to work. So for them to have less than a 1k lead at this point, you know, it's something, but they need to start building on it pretty rapidly. And, you know, if they can find a way to take towers early when they get a few kills, that's going to be extremely important for their lineup going forward. Because the later the game goes, the harder it is for them to fight TNC and take the towers afterwards as well.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Yeah, he died to Rupture. He didn't jaunt far enough. It's the same thing as Blink, so you know. Yeah, this Bloodseeker's gonna become a problem.
Double darkness.
If they kill him once or twice, then they might keep him in check. But yeah, like they need to do something to this hero. Yep, and that's exactly what they need to do. Now they probably move their Monkey King down here a bit more permanently. And once the Fox Coil comes up again, you can look to move around the map, maybe make it another kill happen. Because right now, they kind of just need to use their Monkey to fight with the puck whenever their ult's up and make space for the Storm. Like their game plan is not to sit on their heels and wait for CG to come to them. So I think that's a losing game plan. They can counter gank and react, but you know they don't want to just sit and farm their free cores. I think Storm can use for space and then the others make it. Yeah, at least for now it is daytime for another 2 minutes, so if they want to fight, now is slightly better than before. Not like this, though. Or maybe like this.
Short-lived creatures.
The rune of invisibility.
I thought he'd die, but obviously, yeah, daytime. Silence is not as long. They might have seen it because of this ward, which is why they're playing safe, I think.
That, my friends, is why metal will never die.
Yeah, they definitely get the better end of that, and that's why TNC, like, they don't have that fifth hero that can come to the fight. Well, they do, but they don't want him to, so they need to be careful with how full on they go in the engagements. I think the Invis rune made a big difference, but now they just need to play around with that going forward, you know. They have their spells again.
Excellent.
They see 2 mid. And the tower if they want it.
Dire's
If they feel safe enough to do it. Boy, Tim's is going to go place the ward, I imagine.
Stupendous.
Yeah, get some nice deep vision.
Dire's top tower is under attack. Dire's top tower has
And
fallen.
it's off.
Orchid's better, but the problem is, right? If you show that you have an Oblivion staff and you have triangles, you're not going Echo. So the Storm's just going to buy a Yule. And the Puck's going to buy a Yule.
Middle tower
And
is
then
under
your
attack.
Orchid is trash, you know? Then it requires, like, you know, the Night Stalker to get the silence and then you to silence after the Yule, which isn't so easy with the Puck. Because of Phase Shift and Blink Dagger, it's slightly easier with the Storm. But, you know, maybe Storm just goes second item BKB instead of an Orchid. We'll see. And they keep going. I think Clash will still be extremely happy with that.
Middle tower
And
has
if
been denied.
they keep winning engagements like this, and yeah, the Orchid from Clark will be really, really good. Because it'll be faster than all those items. But it is a big F, you know. One bad fight, and then he stops farming, or they stop being able to fight, and then you have, like, this Orchid, and it's sad. I'd like to see it work, but don't get me wrong. I'm just stating it's somewhat risky. Because Blade Mail's great this game. You know, there's a lot of spells that they can't control.
Dire's middle tower is under attack. Dire's structures are fortified. Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Yeah, and they buffed the damage, so... I like Vale a lot, but this game, they don't really need it, because the rest of their team allows him to fight in... He doesn't feel so fragile. Like, half the reason I think Vale is good is it takes the armor and health pool up to a level where you feel like you can go into an engagement. But he doesn't need that this game, so he can get away with the Aquila and Wand, and then if you get an early Radiance on this hero, like, you farm so fast. And you can play so aggressive. If he opts to go something else than Radiance, so, you know, it's still good.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Poor Lich. Four, 1437. Yeah, that's the feels bad, man. That's when your puck player should take a bit of flame, I think.
Over here now.
Decent timing considering. They have to, like, they can't fight right now. And it shows with like how that monkey's been playing. He's been trying to fight and each time it's bit them in the ass, and he has like he went from top net worth to 4th by 3,000. So
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
for who? For Bloodseeker, item-wise, or...
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Yeah, they don't have monkey issues, so Halberd's really nice, but I Silver Edge or Manta maybe.
Boom, there it goes.
Spirit is ready, but the flesh is
Rush out puck. They have the chain.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
flesh sustains, gold remains. Never refuse gold given.
They have a big gold lead where it matters. It's just that their supports are, very, very poor in comparison. The Earth Spirit's 1,000 ahead of the Lich. The Shadow Shaman's 1.5 ahead of the Night Stalker. But as far as their cores go, they're all a good chunk ahead, which is where it matters in this game. At least for now. Like, they are going to need their two supports to probably get at least some form of item soon, but that hopefully comes when they win a fight and take 1 or 2 towers. Which I imagine will come soon if they want to heal up and go.
I tested your metal.
First debut of the Orchid. Value. He farms fast as well. Look at that 30 attack speed and 30 damage. Feels good, man. Clock. From the Orchid. He farms fast because of it. I mean, it's gonna work out because he got it so early. It was a high risk item, but to be fair, if I was in his position, I would expect us to be winning at this stage of the game anyway. I maybe wouldn't expect him to have as much farm as he does, but he's done a really good job of CSing and being involved in kills. 80 CS and 6 kills at this point of the game as a clock is pretty good.
The Monkey King's
Dire
gratitude is
are
worth
scanning.
more than gold.
Yeah, but
Radiant's top tower is under attack. Radiant are scanning. Radiant's top tower is under attack. Radiant structures are fortified.
Coming in.
and that's why TNC don't fight right now.
Radiant's
They probably wanted some kind of flank, but they gave that up when the puck blinked forward to find like the solo Night Stalker and didn't go on him. And then it just stalled the fight out long enough. And now life gets a lot harder because Radiance is up on Ember. So I genuinely don't see how they fight now. Like, their monkey is not tanky enough. He doesn't do enough damage to scare heroes away from him. You know, he's got a Mask of Madness, which it's a good farming item. It's good at killing solo heroes as well, because if you like Q from the trees and then you leap on them and then pop the mask, you can do it. But I'm not so sold that he's going to be that impactful in the fights this game.
No one does this to me.
Yep. Storm has no way to split push until he finishes his Yule, which is coming soon. Very, very soon. But for the rest of the heroes, if they misstep and get caught, they are very dead.
Dire's top tower.
And all the worries I was saying about them not being able to push towers at this stage of the game is gone because they are in such an advantage right now. But the other team is not going to fight them. That changes when it goes to high ground though. Like tier 2 towers, sure, they can take those for days. They could probably even take Roche right now. But going high ground is a different story. Probably the best kill.
He's bested.
That's really not the hero they wanted to get the kill, unfortunately.
Incoming.
The poor Puck.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
This'll come in handy.
Dire's bottom tower has been denied.
Yeah, he's pretty beefy. Overall, good trade for TNC, because at the moment, they kind of have no right getting anything if CG walk is 5, so them getting a trade is good. But right now, they're going to need more than one trade to get back into the game. They're going to need a lot more time, because the Storm is doing a really good job. He's equal with the Bloodseeker, but despite this hero being the best carry in the game, he's not the best 1v5 hero. His team is going to have to be relevant at some point, so they need to keep farming. Which is where CG can start picking them off and find the ability to snowball again. And Bloodseeker just finished his BKB, so this is probably going to cue them to take a fight.
Dire are scanning.
Yeah, maybe they have one, but the chances are they're low. They've got a Glimmer on Earth Spirit at least, so that might mess with the fights a tiny bit, because I don't think anyone on Clutch is carrying detection. No, they're not. This is a really good smoke. It is into a shrine, but I don't think they care, because they're so much stronger right now.
There it goes.
His Puck's pushed him out. He's dead. And DD on Ember. There is still hope for them because high ground is a completely different ball game. But if CG play this right from this kind of position, yeah, you would expect them to choke the map out and just slowly get to a point where they can brute force a game. This Aegis is probably not it. Unless TNC give them a fight outside the base, where they win similarly to that one. No. Is this a freebie? Yeah, I'm not so sure about that. Yeah, that yawl was greedy as fuck. That's the kind of play they can't make if they want to get back into the game. Yeah, you know, like yesterday, make it hard on yourself, you know, just feed a few games and make it interesting for the fans. I can get behind that. Mid lane puff. Oh, he got hit by the stars.
By morning, you'll be naught but bones.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
It's about having a really good lane and then having an orchid at like 15 minutes on a clock. That's the biggest problem in this game. Like, I think this item is making the game so much easier. Like, it was a ballsy pickup, but credit to the guy because it's working out amazingly. And yeah, you know, the Storm has so many problems with the Bloodseeker silence, the Nightstalker silence. Yeah, he can't hold it for the orchid. Or you initiate with one and then you use the other. Ideally, you start with a skill first and then use the item because the item has no cast time. But you know, it all comes down to what situation they're in. Regardless, though, they're in a really good spot. Still haven't popped the BKB on Bloodseeker. Oh no, sorry, it is down to 9. But he has it up. They have Aegis on Ember, so this is a pretty easy tier 2. Just if they feel like they go more. I don't think they should, but maybe they test the waters.
This'll come in handy.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Here I am. Where's the party?
Rip Storm. Close. Very, very close. Like, the heroes are actually not that bad at splitting, but they just can't make a mistake. Because right now they're in a position where they are so far behind. One mistake is kind of, not the nail in the coffin, but kind of getting close to it at this point. And 400 away from Ags on Nightstalker, which is just going to make their game even harder to split. Anytime it's not day, they are not going to feel comfortable sitting in trees and waiting to TP out, which is how you wrap the map these days. You push the wave of your spells, you sit in the trees, and you kind of just hope that the enemy team thinks you TP'd out and they don't search for you.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Yeah, TP for 10 seconds, so... Yeah, once you're in first range, it's pretty hard to juke.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Yeah, he hits for 200 and 40. 30 damage talent's pretty good.
Invisibility.
They just have to keep doing what they're doing, and eventually the game like evens out a bit. You know, this might be a good fight, but yeah, it's just too many numbers the other way.
Never refuse gold given.
Double harm shall I deal.
I mean, BKB is preferable, but it's not the game-winning item. Like, you want to buy BKB when you know you can use it to win a fight instead of just survive a fight. Like, Lincoln's gives him the time to react, and if he can then get away with it, it's better stats, better regen, better storm item in general. And you want the BKB charges for like the 15-minute mark, ideally, when like maybe the other team has a Hex or a more magical annoyance crap. But right now, yeah, BKB might keep him in the game. Does it win him the game? Probably not on its own. Whereas Lincoln's can kind of double up, you know. Yes, it's greedy, but I don't think it's a bad idea to try and be greedy here. No, they need to get out. Not smoking outside your base to take a fight with no buybacks is one way to see light at the end of the tunnel. But yeah, when they do plays like that, it makes the stalling thing only viable if they can stall for like another 10 minutes, you know? Every time they make a play like that, it adds X amount of minutes based on how much gold they lose. You know, if they find the storm here, then, you know, it feels bad, but I think he's good. Roche is anytime now. Especially a really short respawn. That's going to help CG a lot. Because right now, they want to just go as soon as they can. They are the stronger team. The sooner they can use their advantage, the better. And hopefully they scout this now.
The rune of illusion.
Yeah, and he actually takes the steering chain switch. I was thinking, like, cooldown reduction's the normal option, right? But this game, how do you win it? You chain the puck or you chain the storm. And I really like this decision. I think it's gonna catch them off slightly, and then they're playing without buybacks because they don't have money. So you catch them once, game pretty much is in your back pocket at that point. And now that Bloodseeker has his level 20 talent and the butterfly, his sieging is something they do have to worry about. Like, he's pretty tanky, he does a lot of damage. If you get him low, then he can just go back and heal on some neutrals and then come back, so they do have a good level of sustain. And the D-push from TNC is pretty garbage. You know, only Puck can really do it. Maybe the Rafter can get a Q off, but, you know, that's risky.
Radiant structures are fortified. Radiant's middle tower has fallen. Radiant's middle barracks are under attack. has fallen. Radiant's middle barracks are under attack. Dire victory.
Oh, they tried to fight, and every time they tried to fight, CG had 5 heroes and they had 4, which is credit to Clutch. Like, you know, if they had given away 1 or 2 of those early fights, I don't think their game looks anywhere near as clean as this. But every time they wanted to fight,